Hello, so this is another one of those videos where I talk about nothing in particular. I'm also sitting in front of a freeway, so it's very loud where I am. I have the two back windows open because I need to breathe, and it's kind of 84 degrees outside. I just got out of the gym, so my hair is wet and really gross, and I have a really big forehead. So, okay, I didn't sleep till maybe 5:30, almost 6 last night. It was like light blue out by the time I went to sleep, but I have curtains on my window, so I could so it blocks it out, but I could see like past it. I've been watching, well, I'm done watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Philadelphia. And actually the other week I went to the location where Patty's Pub, the facade, is shot. So I went to the building, the brick building with the green door. I went to that building. It's like vacant or something, or someone owns it but they're not in it. They're tearing down like all the stuff next to it, and there's no Patty sign. It's just a green door, and there was a flyer tucked into the doorknob that said LA filming location, like filming in progress or something. It's like a notice that we're gonna film here, which is really exciting because like if you watch the show, you're like, hey, I've been to Patty's Pub. There's like a real pub where Mac, I think his name is Rob, he owns a real bar somewhere. I think it's in Philadelphia, I'm not sure. So they have a podcast, the three guys. It's Glenn, who plays Dennis, Rob, who plays Mac, and Charlie, who plays Charlie. They have a podcast called the It's Always Sunny podcast, and they release every Monday at midnight Pacific time. Before, I feel like it was 9 p.m. Pacific, the Sunday night, so it was like midnight Eastern time. But they're all in California, which is where they all live and where they film most of it. So I guess they started making it midnight, or maybe I've just been staying up late and I assumed it was 9 p.m. because it came out like at like 11:50 or whatever. But last night I stayed up past midnight to watch the newest podcast episode because they're doing video and of course recording. And I could not sleep. I had too much caffeine yesterday, I guess, and I ended up watching so many episodes, and it's really funny because it's just like three guys talking to each other, and you can tell they've known each other for a really long time, which they have, obviously, and it's good banter, as people say, and I always love things that have good banter, and and then they talk about the show for like 5 minutes, and the episodes of each show is like 20 minutes. But the episodes of the podcast is almost an hour. So they like talk for 50 minutes about not the show, and it's great. But each episode is named after one of the episodes. They're like, hey, they did a lead-in where they're like, hey, you know what's fun? Getting held hostage. They talk about the show for a few minutes and like, oh, remember when this person did this? Oh, hey, that was ad-libbed. Oh, that was scripted, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you know, I had this story from the other day. And it's so great. And like, I have to say it's my happy place. And I've only been watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia for like a month and a half. And I went through all 15 seasons. I binged it on Hulu. Even the removed episodes, I saw most of them, I believe. And it's a show about people yelling at each other. It's a show about awful people that probably do exist in real life. It makes you feel better about yourself, but also it's like, hey, I want to be a horrible person, but also you're like, I'm glad I'm not a horrible person. So it's like there's a lot of nuances to it, and it's like lighthearted and comedy, and it's just like, it's so wrong. The first episode is called The Gang Gets Racist, and there's a lot of racism against black people. There's homophobia. There's all that stuff, and it's the first season. It's the first episode they decided to air. And one of the greatest lines is when Dennis, he does a spin turn and like grabs a dollar like that, and he goes, "The boys are out tonight, huh?" And from the podcast, I found out that was ad-libbed. Like, he wasn't supposed to do the spin. I'm not sure if he was supposed to say that line, but he was doing it to make the other two guys laugh. And it did, and they kept it. So they've discovered through the years of creating the show that the best way of making the show is making each other laugh. And then that's when you get the best cuts. And then obviously my favorite episode is The Nightman Cometh. It's their the one where Charlie writes a musical. And I was at Disney the other day, and I downloaded some episodes into my phone with Hulu and watching them in line, and that was the first episode I decided to watch that day. And the entire day I just had the troll song and the little boy song stuck in my head, and I was just singing like the chorus. It was great. It brings you joy. It brings me joy. It's hard to get into, someone like me who doesn't like wrong and inappropriate things, but you can't help it. It's not for everyone. It might take like, and the seasons are really short, so it might take a while to like get into it, which is fine. Yeah, and so I've been wanting to make these videos, and like, this is just a talky video. I have this thing I want to try. I'm not sure if I'm gonna try it yet. I was talking to a friend about it, and they're like, it's not gonna work. It's gonna bite you in the ass. So what I am sick and tired of is going out with a guy for a few months, and you know, you sleep with him eventually, probably, and after a few months he decides that, hey, you're really great, I love you, or I really like you, and you're great, but not for me, and our personalities aren't compatible. You're great, I really like you / love you, but you're not for me. Okay, thanks, bye. Like, my personality was fine those few months we were together, sleeping together or whatever. Like, come on, dude, it's not okay. So I've only been with a handful of people, literally 5 people. And I don't want that number to go up, because I have a weird thing about being with people, and it's not for me. So I was telling my friend, this is my theory I want to try out. What if I join a dating app, and I'm serious about this, if I do this, and I tell people like, hey, icebreaker, because like Bumble, where it's the female who talks first or something, like, hey, icebreaker, I want to be really upfront and honest with you, and you can just bail immediately after you read this. Just be like, okay, bye. At least tell me you read it, you know, be nice about it. If I don't want to sleep with someone this year, do you still want to talk to me? See if that works, you know? And then you weed out the bad ones, the ones who are only in it, who are like, oh, I can only have relationships as a physical. Like, I think the physical part, for me personally, the physical part is a bonus. For me, a relationship is about the connection, and like talking to people, and like just getting to know each other. And like, for me, a relationship is about the heart and the mind. Anything else underneath that, lower than that, it's a bonus, you know? And yes, I do believe people need to experience that to see if they have the chemistry, because you might not, and it's bad, and you don't want to get married to that person before they get married. But it doesn't mean you gotta jump in bed like as soon as you meet or like each other, which is fine if someone wants to do it, but personally it's not for me. So I'm gonna try that if I decide to go back on the apps. My allergies are really bad. California has weird weather. It said it was 79 degrees. It says it's 84 outside. Bye.